A very good evening to all our viewers. This is the Evening Review. My name is Toiwan Jabala, your host for tonight. Let's have a look at today's front page of Namibian Sun. Tonight in the studio, we are joined by Benitha Nakaambo. She is a chairperson of the Namibia Exile Kids Association, Neka. She has been very vocal about some things happening in the country, and we called her in just to expand on some of those views and also to help put them into perspective. Benitha, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. You know, last week, the Namibian newspaper quoted you, expressing some very sharp views about the state of corruption in Namibia, and particularly in the ruling party, Swapo, as far as some individuals in the party are concerned, where you actually called for the removal of those implicated in corruption, such as Fishrot. Just for the sake of our viewers, what was the rationale behind those views?
Thank you so much for having me. And perhaps if I may just correct,
yes,
for the sake of a lot of confusion that has been there since I made this statement.
Yeah.
I am an outgoing president of the Namibia Exile Kids Association,
yes,
which is Neka. In fact, we are busy now preparing for Congress, and but even in the wait to the Congress, which we are hoping to have next month, to have new leadership, I felt it was imperative that we participate in these national debates and national issues or discussions regarding our party. Of which most of us were born in. And it's a party which, if you look at the aims and objective of Neka, we are supposed to protect and safeguard.
Yes.
So based on that, I was mandated as a child of the liberation struggle, as an outgoing president of the Children of the Liberation Struggle, to start the debate on how we are going to save the party. Because what I have realized is that people don't have a problem with the party. People have a problem with individuals with the party. And they seem, in my opinion, they seem to not see the difference between the two. That these are two entities, and you need not to marry them, and that you can remove this one entity here and deal with it separately, as opposed to throwing everything away. So it was because of that that I then thought to myself that, you know what, we could actually save the party. They have peace-loving Namibian who want Swapo to continue, who do not want to start over again, who wants a generational wealth of information through organizations that have been established by our forefathers and parents who have perished and wanted their children to prosper within this. Why must we have certain individuals who have failed to uphold the principles of the foundation of this institution to fall with them? And it is our obligations then to see how to save it. And this is the conversation that I felt we needed to start, and I have started it.
Indeed, a good one, actually.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So is that Is this bravery to speak out in the manner that you did, is it a result of you leaving Neka, and a lot of people speak out when they have nothing more to lose? Is it linked to your leaving the association?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I've always been a leader.
Yeah.
I've always been unafraid. I follow my consciousness. In actual fact, most of the time, there's a lot of people think that children of the liberation struggle are just a bunch of individuals who probably stepped out of somewhere and want to march and engage into some demonstration without any strategic position. No, unfortunately, not all of us are like that. Yeah. I have been a leader since school. I went to varsity to study political science. I have a degree in political science. I have a postgraduate in security, state security, and strategic study, and currently finalizing a master's in the same area. So I've been operating within the fraternities of my intellectual ability and my ability to do what I've done has always been. I think I would like to think that we have to go back again, it was I who also said, let's take a position and give government 7 days to respond, or else. And that position pushed government to sit with the children of the liberation struggle so we can negotiate on how to move forward. So my courage and ability to want to do what I do, it's an inborn thing. It's leadership. You must, at times, you must take a position for your people, and determination. As children of the liberation struggle, we went through the pioneer movement, and we just know what needs to be done for the greater good of all. Yes. So it has nothing to do with anything whatsoever.
Okay.
Yes.
And when you're saying that these leaders who are implicated or thought to have benefited from some of these corrupt schemes, such as Fishrot, must be removed, who are we talking about? From the vintage point of Benitha Nakaambo, who are these individuals who must go, essentially?
You see, I believe in the justice system. Yeah. Well, at the moment, right now, I think it's a little bit flawed, but I believe in the justice system, and I think, like all the other Namibian and the law says, you must allow justice to prevail. But having seen the magnitude to which the case have gone, to a point where a presiding officer, the Congress, have admitted to statements that brings in conflict the position of our current leader in this country, it makes us wonder, do we have legitimate president? Do we have a legitimate leadership of Swapo? And it makes you wonder, the other team that has taken the party to court, perhaps they had a case. And if that is the case, then the next action is to have a recall referendum so that we can review and go back to the actual Congress, bring back everybody else who was originally, not the current one, the previous, and so that we can have a free and a fair election. What jeopardizes everything and the leadership, which now jeopardizes the legitimacy of the current leadership, is the affidavit of Comrade Sisa Namanji, who has clearly indicated and declared that these things have happened. So that has made me even to believe that the current leadership of Swapo, if they have directly or indirectly gained from a state institution, then they must either be disciplined through the code of conduct of the Swapo party, or ultimately, if found guilty, they must be removed.
Indeed. Now, there's the Swapo party is supposed to have its Congress next year. Does that provide some opportunity for people of your thoughts to effect change and recall and remove these leaders through the democratic channels that are available? Or are you of the opinion that the removal must actually happen way before the Congress occurs?
Toivo, I am of the opinion that this must be done now. We have to set precedents. You see, we need to learn to think past now, past 5 years, past 10 years, past 20. We need to think a longer term. We need to be visionary. You see, we can't say now, and we have had some of this conversation, but it's only next year, you know, and then it's done. No, we're not giving opportunities for anything. This is wrong. It is done now. We need to deal with it right now. I mean, it's a country of 2 million people. Yeah. Look at the United States. The United States had a case, and Trump is one of the most powerful businessmen, individual, you know, but his party, the Republican, refused to compromise the standing of that institution, even when he had only had a couple of days to go. Now, why must we compromise? Because we feel that it's only next year. This situation needs to be dealt now. They have to be dealt with now, so that we set a precedent to ensure that the future leaders do not engage in a situation like this, and that things are dealt with in this manner. It's not personal. Let's take the emotion out of the equation. This is not personal. We are basically saying, how do we retain back our supporters? Nobody wants to leave Swapo, but it is embarrassing to be Swapo member right now. We are afraid to be associated to Swapo right now. You go into a salon and you hear the conversation that they're having about Swapo. It's not a pretty one, but it's not Swapo. It is individual in Swapo, and we should see them as such. Swapo, the institution, and individual that abuse the power given to them through the Swapo party.
Indeed. Now, Benitha, you alluded earlier to the court case that was brought about by, I think, 2 or so members of the party emanating from the 2017 Congress. And this is, of course, the Congress where allegations of payments, these irregular payments apparently took place.
Yes.
So I'm always tempted to ask this question. When people talk about these things, of course, you can't take 2017 out of the equation, since this was the avenue of these alleged payments.
Yes.
But I'm always tempted to ask whether it's purely, for you in particular, it's purely a principle thing that what is alleged to have happened is wrong, or are you withholding some resentment from 2017? I don't know where you were in the greater scheme of things, the camps and whatnot.
Yes.
But is it a principal thing, or is it a clap back for you because perhaps you were in a losing camp and then you think this is an opportunity now to say, we told you so?
You know, it's an interesting question. You see, 2017, there were decisions, great decisions that we had to take. And as leader that time, I had to decide to which camp we must associate. And it was a very difficult decision to take, because now it's like your mom wants to go this side and your dad wants to go this side. Who must we pick as the kids now? And ultimately, my consciousness told me, no, but our parents fought for this country so that we have freedom, justice, you know, we have democracy to decide and choose who we must associate with, and what have you. Why must we decide for individual which side to be with, or which political party, which religion? We decide that we're going to allow everybody to go the direction that they want, so that they may pick and choose their path. In having said that, you had individuals going their different direction, and we respected them. And nobody said, no, we don't like you, because we respected everybody. But I personally decided to keep my position quiet. But what came out in my analysis of the situation was that I am a child of the liberation struggle, and my position is on the ideological standing of Swapo. I looked to see what was being offered to this one camp and what was on the other camp. And what I've learned was the one that I felt was most moving to me were those that were ideologically based on, those that wanted to maintain the status quo, you know? I'm a true believer of the Swapo Manifesto of 1989, and I up to now, I feel that every work that Swapo does must align them to the Swapo Manifesto of 1989, because that was the document where the first promises were made. And we must look at that to say, did we mark everything off by looking at that and saying, have we done this? Have we done this? Because some of the people that have died for this country looked at that document and said, you know what? I will sacrifice my life so that my children may have. And there's one thing that a lot of people don't know, and they just thought children of the liberation struggle were running up and down, demanding entitlement. No. The Swapo Manifesto of 1989 stated that the Swapo-led government will ensure, or will take care of the children, of the dependent and the spouses. So it was on the basis of that, you know, the fundamentals and the foundation and the basis to which Swapo was going to begin, that we trusted.
Yes.
And in that, after a couple of years, we wanted deliverance on the promises, just like we are doing now. You see, now the general public are demanding from Swapo these things, but now we can sit, children of the liberation struggle, we are sitting here saying, but you were saying we were entitlement, what are you saying? You see, in fact, you guys are late, you know. But to answer your question is, I did not feel the need to participate in the two, because the two for me were one. These were positions of, it was a situation that was not necessarily, in my opinion, in my analysis, created by these people. In my opinion, all of these things were created by the former president, not the former president, not founding, I meant to say let me just say, Comrade Pohamba could have avoided the situation that we have here.
If he did what? What is it that he should have done?
I am of the opinion that the transition to Comrade Powers from Comrade Pohamba to Comrade Hage was not as smooth, and as it was not well thought out to ensure unity, in that it created opportunities for for divide, if I may put it. Things would have been different, and unfortunately, the former president dealt with this thing and made life difficult, I think, for the current one, because I don't think he is to be blamed for everything that is happening, but unfortunately, he is the one who is heading the party. And I also think that he should have reprimanded at a certain point to say, no, this and that, but he doesn't, so he too now is in the fault. But it has not begun with him.
Does not begin with him.
Yes, I'm trying to be as very diplomatic as I can.
I can see that you're being diplomatic, but I'll ask you this question. The next one, and this is that when you talk about those who must be removed, should this include President Geingob?
If he's implicated, then he should be removed. We cannot compromise. Yeah, we cannot compromise. Like I said, it's not a personal thing no, we like this one, so we're going to keep this one. No. If he's implicated, then he must be removed. He had the responsibility, in my opinion, to say, for example, Ms. Sophia, Second SG, has made many mistakes, many mistakes. She, I think to a certain extent, the Swapo party through in her leadership forgot that it is the people that have the power and not them. I think she confused things and assumed that the power is with her as opposed to the masses. And that became a problem because now you saw the arrogancy of the leadership of Swapo, and that became annoying for people, and that's why people have become annoyed with, with them,
Yes.
if I may put it that way.
Speaking of annoyance by the people, do you think that the mixed fortunes of Swapo's electoral performances lately, 2019, 2020, is linked to this case?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Extremely. I have even I traveled extensively. I've listened. There was, I think, for the past 3, 4, 5 months, I did I was doing a self-reflection, retrieved myself to listen more and talk less, and the arrogancy of our party, the ignorance of our of people's need, has put us in the position that we are, and to even have people who can come live on TV and say, we did not, lying, you see. They lied to party members and lied to the Namibian nation. It is embarrassing and it is shameful. And in my opinion, if anybody must go, the SG must be the first one to pick up. And I think it would have been actually nice if even the party president had made that decision. But also one thing that is causing the downfall of, it's, why are you keeping people that are in jail in the party structure? What are we saying it's okay that, if you participate in some, dubious engagement, we're going to keep you until it's done? Or is it just for some? Yeah. It provokes thinking and provokes a lot of feelings about is the president trying to protect because he's afraid that these people will speak, or what is going on? And it's unfortunate that the president doesn't really have smart people around him. I think he's surrounded by a lot of people that are more, they just want to listen, they don't tell him the truth, and it's extremely sad. I saw he appeared on news for a good 13 minutes with a lawyer, a certain local lawyer, trying to explain the title of the Namibian title, how it was made him to look like he is guilty and stuff like that. It was 13 minutes on a Tuesday or whatever day it was. And the next day they ran exactly the same thing for the same minute. And if you put that together, it's almost half an hour for a president trying to explain himself to the people. But it's not him, it is the reporter who's trying to explain using one legal expert who you would wonder, but if you're driving down the city of Windhoek, every other corner has a lawyer or an expert who can provide. Why must you pick a single individual? I think to a certain extent, they are undermining the thinking abilities and the capabilities of people to engage, and it's actually quite sad, and it's one of the downfalls.
Good.
Also, something very, very important, sorry, that I forgot to mention is that the Secretary General at some point, she just fails to listen. You see, after we lost the how many town council did we lose?
Yeah, put the number of them, yes.
Yes, you would assume that she would say, you know what, this is serious, something got to be done. We need to quickly have we need to revert, we need to, re-engage what just happened here. No.
Nothing happened.
Said, okay, this is what happened. Well, yes, let's retreat back and let's have a great holiday. No, that's not somebody who's supporting the interests of the party.
The very last question, briefly, Benitha, is children of the liberation struggle, or of exile kids, if you want.
Children of the liberation struggle, yes.
Yes, there are many names for them, for you guys. So we saw reports last week of children of President Hage Geingob, children of former
Comrade
President Pohamba, and other powerful people
Yes.
being shareholders
Yes.
in Tunaco. Some Nyoma's kids are not exile kids per se, but we also know
Yes.
they are also well positioned somewhere within the systems. Are the exile kids treated differently depending on who your parents and how prominent they were and whatnot, and where they are now in the party structures and in government structures? Are you, can you say that if some of those children had the same surnames as yourself and me, and Jebelas and the Nakambos, that they would have made it to Tunaco, or do you think there was a deliberate attempt really because of who they are to push them into that venture?
Yes. It was deliberate.
Yeah.
See, you in Namibia, we tend to, you need to be glorified and to be seen to have done something. You do things, you know. Look, former president, remember his kids got the scholarship to China. He was a president. His children get scholarship to China. What did he say? He didn't know. You see, so meaning that somebody gave this scholarship knowingly, but on the basis that it is Pohamba's children, to understand. Sometimes it comes in that manner. They really don't know and stuff like that. But now that you know, what are you going to do about it? You see? So you found out that my child, I'm here, I'm alive. I am in this position, I can afford to send my child to China. Why must you take away from Comrade Shikondobolo's child who never made it out of exile? Or many other children that are sitting here whose father died, you know. That's another group that we have. Women, the soldiers came in here, had relationship, and then returned the next day. You have these kids that are sit, but never return back. The father never returned back. In most cases, they don't even know who their fathers are, but you just know that his combat name was this and that. Couldn't the comrades say, "Aye, man, why don't I can afford my child to?" We knew about that. We left the Chinese scholarship. We kept quiet. We continued alone to struggle, to ask the colleagues privately. And then we heard of the what you call? The fishing. And then it was just a bit too much, you see? Because you see now the fishing and everything else, and you know, it came after Comrade Pohamba, who you remember, I don't know if you remember, but it's on record, you know, where he said, you know, we went to him and General Martin Shali said, the children of the liberation struggle are special and they must be treated as such. And then Honorable Naha Sangula said, the Swapo Party Youth League must create a desk in SPYL for children of the liberation struggle because ABCD. And the president then came and said, but they are not special. Why are they special? They didn't do anything, you know? In fact, in Swapo, he said, you know? So why must they be deserving? Now, we left, we said, we continued with those that were sympathetic to our need and proceeded. Yes. Yes. But now, his own children are featuring in the beneficiaries of these things and stuff. It makes me wonder, why must your children be benefiting? Why are they special to be getting fishing quotas? Yeah. You know, shouldn't they be in the same category as the others that are not special? And this is where our point comes in to say, is fairness and justice and solidarity being applied, which are the fundamental principles of Swapo?
I hear you. We ended there. So thank you very much, Benitha, for coming through. We don't get a lot of female guests on this show. So when we get one, we get very excited a little bit. But thanks for coming and for sharing your views in quite a frank and courageous way. we hope to hear from you more going forward.
All right. No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. That's Benitha Nakaambo. She is president of the Namibia Exile Kids Association. Is it president or
Outgoing.
chairperson?
I'm an outgoing president, please.
Outgoing. No, but you are the de facto president today. So until then, you still remain the president of the association. So thank you for watching, and good night.
Need more? Make more money with the Katiti device from Paratus, a portable touchscreen device that allows you to resell electricity, water, and DSTV subscriptions. With Katiti, you can earn commission on every airtime and data voucher sale made. Did someone say Katiti is rechargeable and comes with a charger cable, vehicle adapter, and home adapter? Did someone say Katiti has a 3-day battery life and is fully charged in 4 hours? With Katiti, you'll voucher your way to the bank Monday to Monday.